did you think when I asked how many of you use Sketch, and almost the entire audience put up their hand?
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, when we started, we had absolutely no idea.
When was it? When did you start with Sketch?
2010, around there. I had been working on various small apps, and I had worked with like a handful of designers. And the idea at a certain point was like, well, we can make an app for them. Maybe there's just enough for the two of us to have a small living. We had no idea that there were this many designers in the world.
Right. So you wanted to build an app for designers, and you are an app developer yourself, or more a designer?
No, I'm a developer.
Right. Yeah. So you're a developer and CEO.
Yes.
That's an interesting combination.
Yeah. Well, when I was at university, I sort of had my small ambition was just to be a small shop, like just one developer writing apps.
Right.
And that sort of escalated a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Very impressive. So how is can you describe your team? How many people are working now on Sketch?
At the moment we are with 22 people.
Mm-hmm. In Amsterdam?
No, I started the Sketch project with a designer from Portugal. And back then I was living in London. I didn't want to move over there. He didn't want to move to London because, well, also we had no idea if this was even going to work. So, well, let's just try this. And then when we started looking for our first developer, we found a guy in the Outer Hebrides. I said, well, why not? As long as he has internet. I mean, we are already so far apart from each other. Why not?
Right.
And so from then on, we were a remote company.
Everybody's working remote.
Yeah.
And if you had the resources or the money to put everybody in one place, would you do that, or is it?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought a couple of years ago, like it would actually be nice to have everybody in the same place. But I also know, like, we've been able to work with many of the people that we work with because we are remote.
Right.
It's like some people really want to live in the Outer Hebrides. Like, we would never be able to convince them to move anywhere else.
Right.
And so being remote allows you to work with all these people who would otherwise just end up working for the big companies.
Indeed. So what I admire about Sketch is that you've made some bold decisions. You only service people who use Macs, right? Only Apple.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I wrote the very first version using all of Apple's languages, frameworks,
Right.
and also because, well, as I said, back then we had no idea that this would grow into such a big thing. Like we just wanted to make an app for ourselves that a few others would use. So, like, if we had started out from day one with the ambition, like, we're going to take over the entire market, you would have started it in a way that you could ship on Mac and Windows and
Right.
whatever else. But just because we started on the Mac and we wanted to build an app for the Mac, we're all on the Mac.
Right. And obviously your user base is also very
Indeed.
Mac.
That helps.
Right.
That helps.
So what do they think of the product? Do they suggest new features? Because also one other thing that makes your product so strong is that it's very clear what it does. It doesn't have like thousands of features. So how do you define the new releases?
So we have a number of very opinionated designers on the team. Like, first and foremost, I think we build the app for ourselves. That was for sure the idea when we started. Mm-hmm. So as I said, I started with this designer in Portugal. He had been using Photoshop and only like this very small subset, like layers and styles, and ignoring everything else. And we thought, well, if we can put that into its own app, then maybe we have a chance. So it was always like this is we wanted to make the app for us.
Right.
And we've also been very we've also been very, very much aware that we started out with taking out all of the stuff in Photoshop that we didn't need. So we want to avoid making the same mistake and just adding too many things to Sketch, so that like in a few years from now, someone starting in the Sketch will be told like, well, just ignore all of those tools, just focus on that. So we want to.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a balance.
And is there a new feature that you're excited about that you're going to launch anytime soon?
Features I'm going to launch anytime soon. Well, we're working on a little thing we've previewed a few months ago to make it easier for sort of designers and teams to work together. Like you can put all the common elements in a file, put it on the Git or Dropbox, and everyone on your team will then have access to those. So like, because we recognize like Sketches, we think Sketch is pretty nice if you work on your own and you don't need to work much with the world outside, but like people do work in teams. And this is, I think, a really nice thing.
Right, and I think one thing that most of members of the audience will think of now is, when will you buy Adobe?
When will we buy Adobe?
Yes. Or the other way around.
Okay. Well, we have no intention of being acquired, so I'm sure, like, if Adobe would one day ever acquire us, they wouldn't be very much into the remote working thing, for example. I really like what we are doing at the moment.
Right.
So, and I think being taken over by Adobe would put an end to most of those things. So,
right.
No.
You like the way it's going now?
Yeah, indeed.
Right. Yeah. And how about swag?
Yeah. So we have some socks here.
I love it.
So the thing is that we had some of those. We had a pair of socks made for everybody on the team, like last year when we had one of our company get-togethers, and so a few people on the team started that they shared a picture of those socks, and then so many people were like, "Where can I buy them? I want those socks too." So we just set up a little action where people could buy Sketch socks.
Right.
Yeah,
I love it.
Side business.
Well, we didn't rehearse it, but I'd like to do an Oprah moment with you. Shall we? Could you please stand up? Yeah? I like it, yeah. I'm not going to say, and you get a pair of socks, and you get a t-shirt, but how do we define the real sketcher, this real Sketch user? Do you have a question?
There was one there raising hands. I think he's a real Sketch user.
Okay, put up your hand.
We can,
I think it was you, wasn't it? Oh, there in the back, okay. Could you run towards the stage? That way. We need like 3 more, so...
do we just throw them, or...?
Yeah.
It's like...
You want to throw a pair of socks as well?
Yeah.
1 pair of socks for you, sir. There you go. And yeah, I think also... Oh, yeah. You should walk to her and give the t-shirt, the lady with the laptop.
There you are.
Yep. I saw you. There you go, have fun. Right. So, Pieter, that was Sketch and Oprah all at the same time. I wish we had more time, but I know that you'll stick around for the break, so if people have one-on-one feedback or a specific request, they know where to reach you.
Yeah, sure.
All right, give it up for Sketch, Pieter Omvlee.